vegetarian?
I've become vegetarian.
Oh, well, can I ask you? Yeah, can I ask you why you went vegetarian?
For the same reason.
For the same reason? Oh, okay. So you're against the animal abuse, are you?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I love animals, basically.
You love animals. Oh, okay.
Because I can see they showing sentiments. You see,
Yep. They're
But
sentient.
How especially, I've just heard the story that if someone dies in your house,
Yeah.
the cow that's weeping.
Yeah.
Not many people notice it,
Oh, okay.
Cow normally weeps and he doesn't eat anything for a whole day. You see.
Wow.
So I could always.
They're very emotional creatures.
So I could always
all animals, really.
I could always basically, what do you call it, feel that I'm emotionally connected to any kind of a living being. Let that be. I've not had a chance to be close to any carnivores, but all the herbivores.
Yeah.
Side,
Because they're all innocent animals that they don't want to hurt anyone, and it feels like you don't want to hurt them either, right?
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons I'm trying to go vegetarian. Even not eat chicken either.
Okay. Yeah. Because there's no animal that we can't have a connection with, right?
I'm from the UK originally. I went to a restaurant down in London, actually, a vegetarian restaurant. They say how can you live in green peace when you eat the meat of this innocent beast?
Yeah.
That one thing I've been trying a lot.
So that's the question we're asking today. Basically, do you think that you can be against animal abuse while supporting industries that abuse animals, though?
Yeah.
You think so? Because that's contradicting each other, right? So if you say that you're against animal abuse and you pay for this to happen, do you think that makes sense to you? No? Yeah. So we're promoting here, I know you were looking at vegetarianism. What we're promoting here today is veganism, because this is a result of a vegetarian diet. If you're including milk, eggs, and cheese into your diet, especially with milk and cheese, as a result, obviously, once those cows have stopped producing milk, they're going to be sent to the slaughterhouse. And also with the babies that are born to make their milk, because obviously they have to be pregnant to produce milk. Once their baby is born, if it's a female, what will happen is they will suffer the same fate. They will get milked and exploited for their milk. Yeah, so the male gets sent to the slaughterhouse straight away, or for a very short while, maybe 6 weeks, it will be raised for veal. So understand that you wanted to avoid that cruelty by stop eating meat, but the same thing applies because of what happens as a result of the dairy industry. So if it is truly that you wanted to go vegetarian from an ethical perspective, you would actually want to go vegan, because being vegetarian doesn't address the issue.
So what can you drink for milk?
Plant-based milk.
Sorry?
Plant-based milk.
Plant-based.
So there's whole lot of milks, but what I'm focusing on here today is not how to go vegan, but more importantly why. And on that, would you say that this is evil, what they're doing to the animals?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And do you think it's an injustice for them, that they deserve justice?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And with any other injustice, like racism, sexism, do you think that those things are things that we should try to reduce, or we should just eliminate it as soon as we have the power to do so?
Just eliminate it.
Yeah, just eliminate it, right? Yeah. So that's what you have to ask yourself. From this point onward, what side of history... Sorry?
The lady was trying to talk to me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you have to think about what side of history you want to stand on when it comes to this injustice, and change your purchases accordingly. So what do you think's like the biggest thing holding you back from not abusing animals and living a vegan lifestyle?
Well, once you stop eating, it's more like everybody else. If more people stop eating, they'll stop the production of it.
Yep.
So you won't get a chance to see.
Yep, so this is an issue of supply and demand, obviously. But if we're thinking of it from the animal's point of view and as an injustice, we wouldn't wait for other people to stop being racist before we stop being racist ourselves. And in the same way, we wouldn't wait for other people to stop abusing animals before we stop it ourselves, right? So you have to think, if I was in the animal's position right now, what would I want someone to do for me from this point in time now? Because now you have the knowledge. It's up to you to decide what you're going to do with that.
I recently went to India and went for a sattvic meal, you see, which I did yoga there for over a month.
Okay.
didn't touch non-veg food for like nearly 37 days, and I felt really good.
Yeah.
But as soon as I came back home, and they were all like, so that's one thing I need to stop, is the continuity. You know, I don't want to be doing it for a while and this.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it for a long time.
Exactly, because, like I said, no, just wait for him to go. Veganism isn't something that you try, it's something that you do. It's like, you know, I don't try to not be a racist, I just do it. I don't try to not be a sexist, I just do it. And it is a determination of your values, you know. Who we are the actions that we repeat. And that's what truly shows what values we hold.
Especially what happens in China and stuff. It's just crazy.
Because, and even in Europe, because this is, in Australia, this is pigs in a gas chamber. Now, this doesn't happen in New Zealand. However, we will import pork from Australia. So while people were like, yeah, that doesn't happen in my country, the products that they're buying is fueling it at the same time. And yeah, and the same thing with, you know, not eating chicken, not eating eggs. Like you said before, they're all animals, they're all sentient, they can suffer, and that's the only reason why we would not want to harm them. It's got nothing to do with what benefits ourselves or benefits the environment. You just think very simply, if I was that animal, what would I want someone to do for me? And the thing is that there's two types of people when it comes to contemplating going vegan, right? You think selfishly, first of all, how hard is it going to be for you to change your lifestyle, change all these things in your diet? And then there's a person who uses empathy and they think, if I was that animal, I would want someone to take action for me. And then it becomes the easiest thing you've ever done in your life. So what do you think you're going to do moving on from this conversation? Do you think you would continue a life that abuses animals, or do you think you would go vegan?
Trying to go the second part, obviously.
Go vegan, yeah?
So even with being vegetarian, you're like, eggs, how about eating eggs?
Yeah, I'll see if we... No, I don't eat eggs. And the reason is, obviously, it causes suffering to the animals when we buy those products. So, obviously, caged eggs...
Have you got anything for chickens at all?
Sorry?
Chickens, anything?
Yeah, we do. So, with chickens, right? Obviously, they're in a free-range farm, and that can mean that they're in this barn and they hardly have any room to move at all. But regardless of the fact, all of those chickens are going to get sent to the slaughterhouse once they're done. And the same, and with the egg industry, right? So because the males will never lay eggs, their solution, because they need to get rid of them, their solution is to separate them when they hatch. If they see that they're male, they put them on a conveyor belt and they grind them up alive in a blender. And that's an industry practice. No, males can't. They can't. So yeah, they blend them up alive on their first day of life. So that's the reason you wouldn't want to eat eggs. And that goes for free range and organic eggs as well, because this is something that happens at the breeding stage. So you could have someone with a luscious pasture and the chickens are free, but they went to a breeder to buy those chickens and they paid that breeder to grind those male chicks up alive. So yeah, you just have to think what side of history you want to stand on when it comes to animal abuse.
How about you? Are you vegetarian?
We're all vegan here.
Oh, you're all vegan?
Yeah.
Some people, they practice their own practice what they preach.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we're all about here.
And you lose weight being a vegan?
Yeah. So, but it's conditional, right? Like I said, there can be benefits to going vegan, but that's not really the reason that I'm focusing on today. But it's up to you if you want to do your research on that. A whole food plant-based diet is one of the healthiest diets you can have. But today I'm just focusing on the animals. What makes you think about veganism?
I'm vegetarian.
You're vegetarian? Oh, okay.
No, I'm very close to vegan. Sometimes I eat cheese.
Cheese? Oh, okay. Yeah. Why are you vegetarian? Is it religious or? Sorry?
For the animals.
For the animals? Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, yeah. And what is it you saw that made you want to? Did you see something that made you want to go vegetarian? Yeah, yeah. So I'm just gonna give her a card, mate. Yeah. What did you see that made you want to go vegetarian?
Yeah, just saw some factory videos.
Factory farming. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
So just how like I know I saw it before on the Green Street. So how to be involved so I can get more motivation. So,
Oh, okay.
how to involve
You mean
in
like
this.
helping us do this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the first step, actually, you do have to be vegan to attend these events because you do have to practice what you preach as well. So I'm sure you know being vegetarian doesn't really address the issue of animal rights because what we're showing here is actually the dairy industry. What he's doing is impregnating the cow so it can produce milk. So, yeah. Obviously, you're against animal abuse, but do you think that you could truly be against animal abuse while supporting the industries that abuse animals? No, yeah. So what do you think you can do about it as an individual?
Just don't use any animal products.
Yeah, yeah. And basically, that's what being vegan is. It means that you're truly against animal abuse and you won't pay anyone to do those things for you. And what do you think's like the biggest thing holding you back from being vegan?
Like nearly vegan, so at home I don't cook anything non-vegan.
Okay.
But if I'm out, like buy pizza or
Yeah. So I guess it's a convenience thing, right?
yeah, if I'm out, it's more easier.
Yeah, it's easier to go
Still, I
and
don't eat meat, just the vegetarian.
just the vegetarian
when I'm
pizzas.
out. When
Yeah.
I'm at home, vegan.
Yeah, yeah. And when you're eating out, there is options where you can have vegan pizzas and all of that. But what I'm focusing on here today is not how to go vegan, but why. Because if you really had a will to do it, you would find a vegan restaurant if you really cared that you didn't want to hurt the animals. So, yeah, basically, do you think that this is an issue of injustice? Do you think that the animals deserve to be treated like this? No. Yeah. So if we were to treat it like the injustice that it is, and with any other injustice like sexism, racism, or child abuse, do you think that those are things that we should try to stop, or we should just stop it as soon as we have the power to do so? Just stop it, right? Yeah, exactly. And it's as simple as putting yourself in the animal's position and thinking, what would I want someone to do for me if I was that animal being forced into the slaughterhouse? Would you want them to go vegan for you? Yeah, yeah. It's as simple as that. But yeah, it's great that you're also thinking about helping us spread the message, but obviously, like the famous Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror, you have to change yourself before you change the world, right? Yeah. So when that does happen, you can contact us and we can make that happen. But just remember that until the day that it is you do go vegan, the animals will be abused because of your purchasing decisions. So just think about what side of history that you want to stand on when it comes to this injustice.
So like I have to be vegan. Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I
You
start-
just have to be vegan.
Yeah, yeah, I
You could
know
start today if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
What's the name of your organization?
Oh yeah, I'll give you a card, mate. We are Anonymous for the Voiceless. And basically we have our resources on the back there. I think a great thing for you to watch as a resource would be The Best Speech You Will Ever Hear. If you just type that in on YouTube, it should be the first thing that comes up, which will really let you focus on the moral imperative of going vegan. Yeah.
I'm like nearly vegan, like 90% I like at home I'm vegan.
Yeah.
But if I'm out, so
Yeah, yeah. And I think that is quite a loose term. I wouldn't really advocate for that kind of language because you wouldn't say like, I'm almost racist, but just not for this kind of race, right? Yeah. Because there is no sometimes if you're against animal abuse. Eh? Yeah. All right. Cool. I'll leave you to it, man. Thank you very much for the conversation. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of resources here, but yeah, the main one would be The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear.
But do you suggest any vegan
Yeah.
protein powder or something?
Yeah, so there's tons that we could go over. That's kind of like a Google search away. Basically, easiest one would be like a whole food plant-based diet, quite healthy for yourself. But again, I'm pretty much just focusing on why, not how, because once you have a will to do this, you'll find it out. There's a ton of stuff that you can do. Yeah, cool. I'll leave you to it, man. Thank you very much for your time.